she and more, she and more.
Both men and women often bear societal weight, especially when general life expectations are not being met. For most circumstances like rape, abuse, divorce, marital delay, childlessness, the society blames it more on the women. Hello and welcome to this episode of She and More. My name is Godoto. On the program today, we will be taking a critical look at some of the societal stigmas that have been labeled on women, which they are not culpable for. But before we go on, let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't move a muscle.
She and more, you can be more. She and more, she and more.
On the show, I'm here with my beautiful ladies, and they'll be sailing the ship alongside with me. Hello, Loretta.
Hello, Ngodo.
Hello, Stella.
Hi, Ngodo.
I will say you look amazing.
You too. Thank you.
I was about saying that. I mean, I love her carved eyebrow. You know.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay, that brings us to what Stella does. Stella is a cosmetology. She deals with semi-permanent eyebrows. She does spa and salon. She does removal of skin tags. Anything that has to do with your beauty needs. I think Stella is the right place to be. Yes. Stella Moore is the right place to be. And Loretta is an on-air personality with Benue Television. She is a writer and a lover of God. I'm happy to spend the rest of the evening with you.
They're happy to spend it with you. Yeah.
All right, so there are a lot of issues that made the headlines on the media and even in the newspaper, and I would like to talk about the one that really resonated with my spirit, and that's the one about Shey Banibe.
Okay.
You know, she recently wrote a book about titled "Can You Handle Help?" That book is a must read for everyone, for every professional, for every entrepreneur who will be having help or who will need the services of a help, because you can't actually do you are not in science. You can't be in every place at the same time.
I mean, like every working class woman
should read that book. Yes.
Yeah, and to create a balance between your workspace and also your family, you know, carrying out domestic chores and all that.
Yes.
Oftentimes it's becoming a load on
the women.
You know, but there are also I would like to say some negative parts of this, having or getting a help, you know, in your house. Most men don't really it doesn't go down well with them. You know, most men are still this chauvinistic. They have this chauvinistic attitude towards life and all that, and also cultural values. You know, they hold it tenaciously. You know, they believe that a woman should be the wife should be the one to serve me,
take care of the home,
take care of me, cook, do this,
bathe the kids, clean,
wash
clothes, do dishes, the whole lot, and then still go make money.
So how much can a woman actually do at a time? Because I think with having help, it brings about productivity, and it will improve personal growth and even societal growth. Yeah. Because if I am a working class, okay, for instance, now I have an early day and I'm supposed to be on TV trying to do a program. How am I supposed to do all of that and still meet up? Yes, you say you can wake up very early, you do all of that, but you can't take the place of helps, especially the one that you are most comfortable with. They can help you, give you a helping hand. Yeah. Like when you are not back from work, you can actually just say, okay, I have something. Yes, you help me take care of the kids. Yeah. Yes, we know that we have we're responsible for these kids, especially when it comes to emotions, when it comes to physical attention and financially, but you can tweak it a little bit by having helps. What do you think, Loretta?
But you know, I want us to look at another twist to this. You know, a lot of people, particularly in this 21st century, to get a good help is another issue. oftentimes you hear stories of how a help did this, did that to your kids and all that. So most of the times women are very careful when they go out looking for someone that will help
but
them.
You
in
know
house,
the women too don't really treat the help.
That is what she said in the book.
In fact,
that's what she said in the book.
I saw a trending video, I think last week, of a woman that locked up a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I saw that too.
And traveled.
Yes.
You can imagine. That's the height of it.
And the other part of it
in the toilet, there was no water, and she asked her to take the toilet water if she's thirsty.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So you can imagine that. So I think that while we are
going
going out looking for
a
help, we should put in our consciousness as women that these children, or those that we're calling or to get us help, are also our children. Take care of them. And it's always very difficult because since you know that you're not, how will I say it?
They're not family
related by blood in any way. It's sometimes very difficult to show same affection you have towards your children and your nanny or your help. So I think that's another issue. And the other part is some of these kids or some of these children you get as help. If you don't do a background check on them, you would at the long run have issues with them. I would have said I had a personal experience. Okay. I got a help, and a very young girl, I think 13, 15 years, I planned on putting her through school and all that. But I realized that the day I left my last baby, she is about 3 years at home. I kept foods and stuffs for her to give him while I'm away and all that. When I returned, I realized that my baby was just crying. Seriously, and I wondered what happened to you, because he cannot express himself or tell me what really happened. And I realized that everything I dropped
was still intact.
Intact? No.
She
ate them all. And then when the boy was crying, instead of her to pamper the boy or try to make him stop crying, rather she had to flog my son. So
I lots of them have this CCTV.
Everybody has.
I didn't take that lightly. I had to send her back. And as for now, really, I don't have a help. I do all these.
I don't have a help.
I have siblings.
Yes.
I get siblings. I think that works too.
It's fine, but for a woman, if you're not able to handle both your workspace and also your family, then you need to look for a good help, and that's where
you should be nice.
Yes, you have to be really nice, because I've read stories of a lady who really treated her help nicely. She's actually in the university right now. You won't tell the difference.
You won't. You can't even tell.
But you look at the statistics,
it's more. I get.
There's just a few of them.
And that is why she is calling. I'll just read directly what she said in the papers, I think precisely 4th February, where she seeks improve relationship with domestic help, because you can't really do this all by yourself. So you need to create a balance. You need to treat them nicely for them to be able to treat your kids nicely, and before God, you do the right thing. You treat your fellow humans like they are humans. So Sheyi Bamigbe is a lawyer, a seasoned entrepreneur, and then she recently authored a book which we just spoke about. So you should check her up, and she's up to so much. She is a successful businesswoman.
And talking about other women, I've seen a lot of terms on social media, making headlines on the Grammys. I even saw a video.
I did.
Yeah.
Like, you see, look, women are not just in the media doing bad. We're also doing good. A lot of good.
I think that consciousness, women are waking up to the fact that there is more to them. They can do a whole lot, other than being in the kitchen and all those things. Remember,
backbiting. No women like to gossip.
So there is so much more to a woman, and I can see that in the media space, also in music, entertainment world, we see them doing great things. I mean,
internationally,
how terms grew, as in the pace.
It's a very short,
very short space. So she's really doing us wonders. She's doing great things for Nigeria, representing Nigeria very well.
And then Beyonce, she was also in the news, like both internationally, nationally. women are up to so much good, and that is why we are here on She&More, to really breed a society of women who are more aware of their potentials and more aware of the things that they can do. If you are a woman out there and you have not really located or found what is of great interest to you or what you are most comfortable in, I think you should look inward, and you can pray to God about it. You can just try and be of help to yourself. Like, you develop yourself mentally, you read books, you can source the internet. There are a lot of things happening.
The first thing is to love yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of women don't love themselves. They don't even love the way they look. They don't love the way they
you need
talk.
to accept yourself.
So it's first, you need to accept who you are. So once you're comfortable with that aspect of perception about yourself, then you can able to stretch out,
Honestly, you can't give what you don't have. You need to love yourself first before you be able to love someone else.
Yeah, some women haven't come to the realization of their potentials yet.
Yes, a lot of women do not have a clue of who they are or what they can actually do or what they are.
Yeah.
So we're here for you. She&More is trying to tell you that if you are a woman and you're listening to us, you are unique, you are beautiful, you are worth it, you are important, you are more, and you can be the best. If only you can think it, then you can be it. Alright, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we would be introducing our guest of the day and the topic of today's episode. Don't go nowhere. We would be right back.
She&More, you can be more. She&More.
Hello and welcome back on the show. Before the break, I told you we have our guest in the house, and they are two amazing women, exceptional, beautiful, interesting women on the show. And our first guest is Joy Gwa. She is a clinical psychologist. She is a core professional. She's a very interesting woman, and she has so much to say concerning our topic of the day. And our second guest is Ochoga Enemoye. She is the creative director of E-Blend and E-Surprise. She is a mixologist. She does assorted, beautiful, interesting, tasty drinks that you can think about. She got you covered for your weddings, your birthday surprises, your parties, and in fact, she's called the happiness minister. We'll get to meet her on the show. Hello, Mar. You're welcome on the show.
It's my honor.
You're welcome on She&More.
You're welcome. Ma, I love your nose ring.
Oh, yeah.
And you're giving us northern vibes. I love that.
Even speak house.
Oh my God.
You're
I lose all in three.
I'm telling you, you're in fact, you are giving all you should give.
I'm born again, Benway. I'm not.
Right.
But you look good, so I love your dreadlocks.
Yeah, that's your natural hair.
Is that
Right?
right?
So it's
Wow.
beautiful. Okay. All right. The society has placed so much stigma on the women, telling her who she is, what she's not. When there's childlessness in the family, they blame just the woman.
Yes.
When a woman is 40 or 30 without marriage, they blame her.
She's
Yeah,
not
she's
responsible
irresponsible.
enough.
Yes. And then women who have achieved a lot, they tend to tag them
As prostitutes, they must
and
have
all that.
slept their ways in.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So, what
There's so many things.
But women who lose their husband and they tell them how to mourn.
Yeah, the women say they kill them.
Do you know in Africa men don't just die?
Yes, it has to be the
It
woman.
has to be their wives.
She gave him high blood pressure.
Yeah.
She was giving him issues
She
in the
knocked him
marriage.
enough.
How's that domestic abuse?
They say, what did she say?
What did she say? What did she
She
do?
must have said something.
We are talking about what a rape. What
She wear
maybe she was wearing a mini skirt.
Something
Something was a
What took her there? Yes.
What about babies that are raped? What were they wearing?
Okay, that is why we're here today. We're gonna be looking at these issues, and I think you being a clinical psychologist and a core professional, I want you to, and I know that you are a survivor of some of these societal stigma that have been labeled on women. Can you help us unpack this topic?
Yeah. so much that women face.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the family life. You get married, you're expected to have children within the first 1 year. And if it doesn't happen, people will say you removed your womb, you did something else with it. So I'm a survivor. I got pregnant after a year of marriage. You know, that 1 year is not easy.
Yeah.
You know, people ask you, when are you going to get pregnant? You know, they ask
I know that's mine, right?
And you are struggling to get there, and they're just, what's going on?
I call them womb watchers.
I think that's the right word.
Exactly. So after a year, I got pregnant. 9 months after I lose the baby, and 10 years down the drain. I think it took me 11 years to have this baby girl.
I've got good
that I have. So I'm a survivor. I know what it means. I know what it means to be infertile. I know what it means to lose a first child. I know what it means to wait for 11 years of marriage, because I had 11th year. So I've been there.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But I survived.
You did, and we're here for you. We're here, we're here, and we're trying to encourage other women who are out there who may be going through the same situation.
The waiting process is not an easy one.
It's not.
You know, a lot of things will come to play. In fact, spirituality will come to play.
Yes.
Culture will come to play. So many things. So I want to wonder, how were you able to cope in all of this? How were you able to manage, you know, such a situation?
Yes, one needs a higher force other than themselves to cope, because nobody in the society will make you feel comfortable. You know, so even the silence itself speaks volumes.
True.
So I relied on God. I prayed. I used to write some verses on my wall. And there are stories of women in the Bible too who didn't have children but later had. Sarah, then Hannah. I looked at their examples and I knew it will happen. One day it will happen. So that gave me the strength to cope.
All right, and you know, oftentimes that talking about the scriptures, the Bible, you find that from Genesis, particularly Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, it said that the woman, and then she met the woman and she's to be a helpmate. And when the fall of Adam, when Adam committed the sin, you know, the next thing he did, when God asked him, okay, what happened to you? Where are you? And he said, the woman you gave me. And the next thing was to blame the woman.
I think that's where this thing started.
So even when the woman herself was not handed the commandment, God did not speak to the woman directly.
Yes.
So, but you see the blame part of it. Even in the church, oftentimes you see that even your pastors, they will pray with you and all that. How are you doing? That continuous question, consistent question would also make the woman feel like it's like
all about her.
I'm the one that just have to keep.
I'm the one that have to keep. So, did you have such a situation where you were kind of pressured indirectly by some of these men of God or pastors or whatever, or some church members telling you, when are you going to, or have you prayed enough, have you fasted enough, okay, go and do this mountain prayer, or go and see that woman or that prophet or prophetess and such? Do you have seen such situations?
No, not really, because I didn't take the infertility as the whole issue. You know, I'm a person. Giving birth is something else. I have different aspects of my life.
Yeah.
So I didn't, you know, when you carry this thing on your head, people will notice that, you are carrying it. And they'll be bringing suggestions. That's just the truth about the matter. So I didn't carry infertility like, you know, a crown on my head. So you see me and you're like, you see me and you will know. If you don't know me, you won't even know that I had those issues. But I just want to state here, for the sake of statistics, that 40% infertility comes from the man, 40% comes from the woman, 20% is unexplained. So when we have infertility issues in the family, we should know already that 40 for the man, 40 for the woman. Because the issue here is, most times, the man just sits back. The woman goes to the hospital. You come back, bring doctors, because say, come to the hospital, the man will
in
refuse.
Africa believes in
Exactly, so that's why I'm bringing this issue up. We should know that we are sharing 80% of the problem and 20% is unexplained. So we should go to the hospital together. Many men will just not feel like going to the hospital. There's this shame they feel like,
Yes.
And it can't be me.
But it can't be them.
That is it.
It can't be me.
It can't be me. It
And
has to
it's
be
a
the
woman
woman.
thing.
Yes.
When there's no child, it has to be the
But you
woman.
see, when they go to the hospital, they discover that
It's actually
there's something wrong with them too.
Okay, so now, what was the place of your husband or family members, friends, colleagues?
Okay.
What were they saying at this period where you were waiting?
You know, I think I'm very fortunate. My in-laws are not those kind of in-laws.
Whoa!
They were saying it behind. I don't know.
No, I don't.
I enjoyed that. You know, I didn't feel. In fact, my mother-in-law once told me that we should go and adopt a child. Like, my mother-in-law told me, I'm serious.
She is the
And my
21st
husband,
century
and my husband,
mother-in-law.
exactly. And my husband would be like, no, I didn't marry you for a child, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think my mother used to worry. I used to feel her worry.
Oh, how loving.
I actually still more than
Yeah.
you. So.
But something
I have
happened.
one.
Like yours.
Yeah.
Like yours.
But something happened. When I lost the baby, you know, after a year I got pregnant, that's like 2. So when I lost the baby, a close family member who is a doctor really asked the question that,
Okay.
she said, she made it sound like, she asked me a question that made me feel guilty. And it was devastating.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, quickly I asked her who would want to lose their child after you know, infertility. So and unfortunately something happened to them, you know. So you see this life, you know.
It will reach all of us.
And you're speaking like, I don't know if you're seeing the weight. You're speaking like you saw the movie. Well, sorry, the next question is going to Mrs. Emoyo Choga.
Enemoyi.
Sorry, ma.
Enemoyi.
Very
Only
nice.
we love.
Very beautiful. You want to express it.
This question is to Mrs. Enemoyi Ochoga.
You know, we ladies will have the drama. So put the drama.
Sorry, ma, for pronouncing your name incorrectly.
It's okay.
Okay, so God, we were like created by God to be helpmeet. Yes. So does that make us slave? Does that make a woman a slave?
She and more. You can be more. She and more. She and more.